If the way is made clear, it is not the way. Running around accusing others is not as good as laughing, and enjoying a good laugh is not as good as going along with things. Tao is the source of both fullness and emptiness, but it is itself neither fullness nor emptiness. Cherish that which is in you, and shut out that which is without, for much knowledge is a curse. The enlightened attention rejects nothing nor welcomes anything. Like a mirror, it responds equally to all. You are still guided by your expectations. Great knowledge is universal. Small knowledge is limited. Great words are inspiring. Small words are chatter. My description of wisdom has nothing to do with benevolence and righteousness. It is to do with being wise in one's own virtue. Nothing more. My description of being has nothing to do with benevolence and righteousness. It is that one should be led by one's innate nature, nothing more. Emptiness is the fasting of the mind. Heaven is like an egg, and the earth is like the yolk of the egg. Are you and I perchance caught up in a dream from which we have not yet awakened? That knowledge which stops at what it does not know is the highest knowledge. The perfect man uses his mind like a mirror, going after nothing, welcoming nothing, responding but not storing. The creature born is the creature dying. I obtained life because the time was right. I will lose life because it is time. Those who go quietly, with the flow of nature, are not worried by either joy or sorrow. People like these were considered in the past as having achieved freedom from bondage. Those who cannot free themselves are constrained by things. So it is said, for him who understands heavenly joy. Life is the working of heaven. Death is the transformation of things. In stillness, he and the yin share a single virtue. In motion, he and the yang share a single flow. If you have grasped the purpose of life, there is no point in trying to make life into something it is not or cannot be. When I talk about having good hearing, I don't mean just listening, but listening to yourself. When I talk about good eyesight, I don't mean just looking, but looking at yourself. In the midst of darkness, he alone sees the dawn. In the midst of the soundless, he alone hears harmony. Transmit the established facts. Do not transmit words of exaggeration. If you do that, you will probably come out all right. All existing things are really one. We regard those that are beautiful and rare as valuable, and those that are ugly as foul and rotten. The foul and rotten may come to be transformed into what is rare and valuable, and the rare and valuable into what is foul and rotten. The whole world is incapable of judging either right or wrong, but it is certain that actionless action can judge, both right and wrong. If we look on heaven and earth as a single crucible, and on the Creator as the founder, would there be any place I could not go? When it is time, I will fall asleep, and when the right time comes, I will wake up again. Don't go in and hide. Don't come out and shine. Stand stock still in the middle. Things joined by profit, when pressed by misfortune and danger, will cast each other aside. Only fools imagine they are already awake. How clearly they understand everything. How easily. They distinguish this deception from that reality. Although things seem to be sometimes going up, and sometimes descending, sometimes slipping away, nevertheless, there is a reality, the same today as in the past. It does not change, for nothing can affect it. Could we not say, it is one great harmony, so why shouldn't we ask about it? To go outside what your charge was, and to try to solve everything yourself, is dangerous. My most interesting memory is of my first real dream. I was a caterpillar wriggling around in the earth, just the way a caterpillar would, following my caterpillar whims, completely unaware of anyone. Can a man cling to the positive without any negative, in contrast to which it is seen to be positive? If he claims to do so, he is a rouge or a madman. Moreover, I have heard that those who are fond of praising men to their faces are also fond of damning them behind their backs. To have a human form of a joyful thing, but in the universe of possible forms, there are others just as good. When the shoe fits, the foot is forgotten. When the belt fits, the belly is forgotten. When the heart is right, for and against are forgotten. No drives, no compulsions, no needs, no attractions. Then your affairs are under control. You are a free man. A fish trap is for catching fish. Once you've caught the fish, you can forget about the trap. A rabbit snare is for catching rabbits. Once you've caught the rabbit, you can forget about the snare. Words are for catching ideas. Once you've caught the idea, you can forget about the words. Where can I find a person who knows how to forget about words, so that I can have a few words with them? If you were to hide the world in the world, so that nothing could get away, this would be the final reality of the constancy of things. The true man breathes with his heels. Not to understand is profound. To understand is shallow. Not to understand is to be on the inside. To understand is to be on the outside. Those who count things are not worthy of assisting the people. Don't you know about the praying mantis? That waved its arms angrily in front of an approaching carriage, unaware that they were incapable of stopping it. Such was the high opinion it had of its talents. All men know the use of the useful, but nobody knows the use of the useless. When men do not forget what can be forgotten, but forget what cannot be forgotten, that may be called true forgetting. Can you be a little baby? The baby hauls all day, yet its throat never gets hoarse harmony at its height. The baby makes fists all day, yet its fingers never get cramped virtue is all it holds to. The baby stares all day without blinking. Its eyes, it has no preferences in the world of externals. Once upon a time, I dreamt I was a butterfly, fluttering hither and thither, to all intents and purposes a butterfly. I was conscious only of my happiness as a butterfly, unaware that I was myself. Soon I awaked, and there I was, veritably myself again. Now I do not know whether I was then a man dreaming I was a butterfly, or whether I am now a butterfly, dreaming I am a man. When I speak of good hearing, I do not mean listening to others. I mean simply listening to yourself. When I speak of good eyesight, I do not mean looking at others. I mean simply looking at yourself. He who does not look at himself, but looks at others, who does not get hold of himself, but gets hold of others, is getting what other men have got and failing to get what he himself has got. He finds joy in what brings joy to other men, but finds no joy in what would bring joy to himself.